Hi, I'm Sarah Fellows, Communications Manager with Nolin RECC, and I'm here with Bryce Smith. He's the Board Chair for Operation Roundup. Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
Thanks for coming and talking about Operation Roundup.
Very welcome. My pleasure.
And so you're new as a board chair, but you're not new to the board of Operation Roundup. So I want to hear all about Operation Roundup. Can you talk to me about it?
Yeah, it really is a fun program, and I've enjoyed my service on the board of directors of Nolin Operation Roundup. I'll give you a little bit of history about the concept of Roundup. It was actually developed by an electric co-op in South Carolina over 30 years ago. Wow. And they had an idea of how they could give back to their community. And Nolin RECC adopted that mentality and that program back in 2005, 2006. And what it does is the purpose is to accumulate and distribute funds in the form of grants to the service area of Nolin RECC.
Okay.
And we've done that now, like I said, since 2006, and the funds that have been accumulated has grown every year. Matter of fact, we've got over 6,600 people enrolled in the Operation Roundup program.
And this is voluntary. This is not something, if you're a Nolin member, you don't have to do it. But 6,600 people have chosen to take part in this.
Yeah, and that really speaks to the generosity of the Nolin RECC members, because it's through that generosity and their voluntary, they have voluntarily agreed to have their electric bills rounded up to the nearest dollar, and those funds are set aside and distributed by the Nolin Operation Roundup Board of Directors.
Which you all are an independent board. You're not Nolin employees, you're Nolin members.
Correct.
But you're an independent board. You operate outside of the structure of Nolin RECC.
That is correct. We are an independent body. There are 8 volunteer members of the Nolin Operation Roundup Board of Directors. We meet quarterly, and we're getting ready to have our next round of open applications for our impact grants for 2020.
And that's why we're talking today, because we want people to know what Operation Roundup is, how they can maybe even apply for a grant, and then if they're a Nolin member and want to contribute to that, how they could do that too. So.
Okay, so the main thing is we want to encourage as many members to participate in the program as possible. And they can do that by contacting the Nolin office and requesting to be enrolled in the Operation Roundup program, and then their electric bills will be rounded up.
And so every month, I just want to talk for a second about how that works. Really, you're talking about no more than 99 cents a month, right? Because it's rounding that bill up to the nearest dollar. So it's really not, for an individual, it's not that much per month.
Yeah.
But when we bring all of that together, that's when we get this tremendous impact in the community.
That's right. And it's everybody working together, which is the whole concept of a co-op.
Right.
Co-ops were developed to service the rural needs for electric customers.
Right.
And they cooperated to form those bonds. And this program is just a replication of that.
Okay.
To provide grants, to provide funds for these groups to go out and do other projects in the community.
So let's talk about these community impact grants. What kinds of organizations or people might be able to apply for these grants?
Well, first off, we encourage any not-for-profit, charitable organizations, 501c3s to apply for one of these impact grants. Some examples of ones we've given in the past. For instance, last year, 2019, we gave funds to Green Space for a Freeman Lake beautification project. We donated funds to Bluegrass Middle School to purchase some Chromebook computers. We also helped to fund the flagpoles and lighting and knee wall at the Hardin County Extension Office.
Which looks really nice, by the way.
It really is. So you talk about an impact grant, that's one that'll be visible for years to come. Also, we helped with the Hardin County 4-H for them to renovate their dairy trailer. Casa of the Heartland, we helped them buy some computers. At the Community Health Clinic, we helped them with a HVAC renovation and replacing a unit there.
And they serve a huge part of our community.
That's right, and that's the other part of what we look for.
Right.
We want to award these grants to groups that will affect as many people as possible. Okay.
So that's a great thing to keep in mind if you're wanting to apply for a grant. How many people can what you're applying for, how many people will that touch?
Right. So we look for well-organized groups that have a clear vision for the funds that they're requesting. We also want them to kind of think outside the box, maybe, of different projects. We do require accountability for the funds that we're granting,
right,
because we're accountable for those.
Sure.
But we also want as many groups and organizations to apply as possible. Go ahead.
So well, let's talk about how they do that. So what is the application process? What does that look like?
Okay, it's not very complex. There is a paper application that you can pick up at the Nolin RECC office. We also have it available online where it can be downloaded. We ask you some questions about the group, how many people you serve, what the funds are requested for, and the projected cost of the program or project that they're looking at for us funding. We look at how well they're completed. Like I said, we want them to be well organized and have a clear idea of what those funds are to be used for.
So I know that's one of the things we really wanted to focus on this year, that in the past, I mean, obviously you've had some great submissions, but sometimes you find that there are areas where they could really improve some of those submissions in terms of the application. So really doing a hard look at, like you said, what you want to use the money for, what's the accountability piece for that, how that's going to move forward in the future. Those are kind of things that they really need to think about before they fill out these grants.
Right. And that's where their organization and how well they complete the application comes in. Like I said at the beginning, we are trying to impact as many people in our service area as possible. And we want those grants to be very specific as to what they're going to be funding, and to be as community friendly as possible.
Okay. Paper application in the office in Radcliffe and in E-Town. You can also find that online. We have now an online application where you can just put all the information in online and submit it that way through Google.
We hope that will help quite a bit too.
Yeah, and so it makes it a little bit easier, right?
It makes it easier on the folks to complete it. And it also is one less step. They don't have to maybe drop by the office to pick one up. You know, last year we had, I think it was 22, 24 applications. Some of those were not as well completed.
Right.
So we do look for complete applications. And we also want applications that, like I said, have a clear mission for those funds. Those are two of the things that we look for the most.
Okay. Kind of take me through the process after that. So you get all these applications in, and the deadline is May 8th.
May 8th.
At 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, that's right.
So the independent board then looks at all of those applications. So what's the process after that? Okay,
so all the board members are given copies of the applications. We read them ahead of our meeting. And then in our upcoming meeting, we will go through each of them and we will rank them as to which ones we think are the most deserving. Typically, through that process, the board, by consensus, will rank the grant applications almost the same way. It's funny how that works, but we go through them. We look for things like how many people does that mission serve? How much are they actually requesting? What are the funds to be used for? And how are they going to account for those funds? And we rank them, and then we go through the rankings and say, okay, how much money do we have to give away this year? That factors into how much we give. And we try to fit as many of those applications into that budget as we can. And then we vote to award them.
Okay. And then they actually get presented kind of at the annual meeting then.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's the fun part. We ask the representatives from the groups where we're awarding these grants to come to our Nolin annual meeting, which is later in June. And we award them the actual grants at that point, and then we have a photo session. And but like I said, that's the fun part, because they get to be recognized for their work, and we get to see them and Then possibly also later in the year, we'll go and visit those groups to see how they're coming with the projects that they have going around.
Well, I know you all got to help out with the green space one a little bit this past year, which was a lot of fun.
It was, and we've done that before at other places. We've visited Warm Blessings, which we gave them a grant. We visited Feeding America in the past and helped them. We've given them a grant in the past. We visited Mission Hope for Kids and prepared a big meal for these kids at their mission, and we'd help them with the grant. So we like following up, maybe not on every one of them, but with at least one a year to go and visit and see how things are going. We did that with Habitat for Humanity a couple of 3 years ago, so it's been fun.
It's neat to hear all of these organizations that have really benefited from these grants. These are organizations people have heard of for sure. So I know one of the things that is very visible, you all helped with the foundation for the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall, and you all helped with the ramp, the loading, the kayak loading at Freeman Lake. Some really visible things. But I also know that you would like to encourage groups who maybe don't have that name recognition, don't have the Vietnam Memorial Wall is a pretty big thing, but it doesn't have to be that big. It doesn't have to be that recognizable to be awarded these grants.
We gave grants as low as $500 last year. So it's not the thousands and thousands of dollars that can make an impact. It's a lot of the $500 grants that can make an impact. So size really doesn't matter when it comes to the grants or the groups or the name recognition that we're looking for.
Okay. So as we wrap up, I want you to just kind of think if there's anything else that you'd like to say about your time with Operation Roundup. Again, I know you've spent many years on the board, and it's got to make a difference in your life, just being able to be a part of this. So can you talk just a little bit about what this means to you to be a part of this?
Yeah, it's my chance to give back. I'm a member of the Roundup Board of Directors. My family participates in the Roundup. We're enrolled in that program as well. And it's that community involvement that has been so joyful to me. I've had good camaraderie with the other board of directors. We have really enjoyed going out and visiting these sites where we've given these impact grants. So that's been fun. And like I said, it is my chance to give back as a community member. And it's been very meaningful.
That's really neat. Well, just as a reminder then, people can pick up their application at the Nolin office, either in E-Town or in Radcliffe. They can find it at nolinrecc.com, and they can fill it out on that website, or they can then download it there. They can also give our office a call for more information at 270-765-6153.
Very good.
Yeah. Is there anything else before we wrap up our time?
No, I appreciate your work in all this, and I would encourage any Nolin member to actually become enrolled in the Nolin Operation Roundup program.
All right. Well, Price, thanks for sitting down and talking with me about Operation Roundup, and we'll look forward to see how they go this year.
Very good.
I'm Sarah Fellows. Thanks for joining us.